Hi there. And he's off. Oh, welcome along. We're down in the bog road beyond the Boreen. The Boreen is just exotically beautiful at the moment. But I did a vid there recently. So, the bog, yeah, different kind of beauty because it's all very lush and plush now along the Boreen. But, each different type has its own whatever. I was down here the other day in the glorious sunshine. This is the moment to get the blackberries, and I said before last year blackberries were fine, suddenly gone, and some places they really were a disaster. But the Boreen, the Boreen has come out on top. It is an alleyway of lusciousness, just full of unbelievable, the most beautiful blackberries. And there are other places, but it's a little bit more hither-thither. But the Boreen, yeah. Whew. So I got quite a lot. Of course, Fionn was really put out by me blackberry picking. There we go, whining and all that. So, and then we went for a trot down here after I left the bag on the bridge to collect it on the way back. And the sun was shining, it was really warm. We walked all the way down, there's a lovely little spot, and went out onto the bog, which has its own kind of ecosystem and flowers and plants and energy. Oh, it was delightful. Just lay down, two of us, and it was really warm. So bogs are quite warm when the heat's been upon them. All that turf, and dry, that you could actually lie down without getting soaked. And a hawk was circling overhead. There you go. So it was really nice. And then got loads of swag and back, and there's been massive kind of organic bramble jam production going on. So there we are. Loads of other things to do, but when there is a window, you gotta grab it as well, because they're just on the point at the moment, and I know in the dark heart of the winter I will be thrilled to have little pots of wonderment from such a beautiful stretch. There's no cars there, so it's all wild, and it is truly organic. So that's it. Anyway, I will get some on the way back. He'll have had his trot and won't be quite so neurotic. Anyway, here we are. I decided to start the videos now with an addendum or intro of, there he is, Vast Boy. Of course, welcome along, and we're as ever delighted to have you here. Also to say, we're out all the time. Most days we're out, right? And I said this before, the reason for doing these videos was for anybody out there who's, feeling a bit under the weather, under pressure, forlorn, a bit spun out, whatever, not feeling well, overstressed, tired, exhausted, that spectrum, and then the other spectrum of just, you get in, you pour yourself a glass of whatever, a cup of tea, and just have a little nature chill in your busy life or whatever. That's what it's for. We're always thrilled to have you along. There we go. Look at the red now. Down, this is the only place the bramble branches. Look at that. Such a beautiful colour. Yeah. The brambles down here, they're good this year. But the Maureen is just... Why? Because as I was picking, some were in with gorse bushes, some were in with hawthorn, some were in with willow, some were in with nettles, some were in with meadowsweet. And I kind of thought, wow, you know, the flavours of these with their adjacent plants. You know, possibly something. Now, I just adore these guys. Look, bulrushes. They're so beautiful. I've always loved these. When I was younger, I used to do ink drawings with these. Oops. Now, look at them. Oh, they're just something about them. Yeah, I've just always adored them. They're lovely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They go all later on, and that's it. Now, anyway, the sun is out, so the day now, it's glorious, really early, I mean really, really early, and you have to get every scramble to get everything done while the weather's good, there's light, bright, because every afternoon then it turns and changes, and that's it. So other jobs have to be saved for that time, and then once you got everything done, but it's have to shift everything earlier to make the most of the light and the weather in the day, and to bed earlier now. Just rolling with the change in the wheel of the year, and in the adjustment phase, you know, where the poor old body clock is going, what's going on? So, yeah, there we are. Anyway, so I am a bit kind of today because lots to do. Anyway, and I have got to take my own advice and just kind of slow down a bit, because you've shifted up your kind of circadian system, and the light has changed, and etc, etc. But also, and there's a big moon at the moment. I was awake last night, and the moon, Fionn was fidgeting, boy cat fidgeting all night, the moon, super, but you know, it wasn't the worst. Anyway, the reason I'm saying all that is watching stuff, and I was like, wow, hang on, we've got this Armageddon, it's like a clock, and you're like, oh, thinking about it, boom, you know, 2 o'clock, oh, well, we got this Armageddon coming, and then, oh, this one, and on it goes, and I thought, how many variants of Armageddon? Seriously, an effect on the mind, and then, you know, the physicality, it's going into the mind, and the mind, and then your cortisol goes up, and a little bit of adrenaline, whatever, and fucking, pardon my French, then before you know it, you're all kind of hyper. So, and because you're trying to switch up the day and get a million things done, I had to remind myself of see, I'm having to do this to myself and be more present here and now, rather than being in the future. All things I have to do, I'm here now, in the now of now. Tichnahan. Now, I've got to put the camera over to one side here because there's something up there. I don't want to film. Not any batteries. Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddhist monk, I don't know which type of Buddhism using part of, but he used to say, I'll sweep you down here now just to get these here. The slower I go, the faster I go. So, a few years ago, I had a big old bone shaker bike and I was whizzing through the city centre. And I go, oh, I gotta get somewhere. And then you're saying, before you know it, every car, every bus, everything, all the words comes out in front of you. And you're there. And it develops a momentum of frenzy. And I remember saying, oh yeah, Titchnahan. The slower I go, the faster I go. And I was trying to get somewhere by a certain time. And before I knew it, it was a pleasant journey. Got there, everything was fine. I got there a little bit earlier. Good boy, so fast. How I managed to do that, I don't know. Technically, bending space and time. But it really helped. So this morning I had to pull that out of the drawer. I better pull out the old Titchnahan drive because this is ramping up to getting a bit frenzied and scattered, and the momentum will build. Oh, look at that! And missing out on the small beauties and all that, whilst actually getting all of this done and keeping the doom porn. Really, that's a momentum beast as well. I can tell you, be certainly keeping an eye on that. Watch a couple of things before you know it, you're feeling all agitated, Yes, there are astonishing things going on, and good to be informed. But there's also other things going on. The small moments. Yesterday was a shocker of a day. Dull grey, really blah blah blah. And I was looking at, and the field behind me, there was all the aeronauts. Hour after hour after hour, in this dreadful weather, just whizzing, circling, dancing, twirling. I was like, come on, what is that? I don't think there's any midges out there. And they stayed for, I don't know, a good couple of hours. I found myself going, God, it's really impossible to get into a bad mood about this weather, because every time I looked out, there they were. I was like, so beautiful to watch. I have no idea why they were all circling there. That's all swift swallow aeronaut business. But it was delightful. There was a couple of other little things as well, and I thought, okay, in the middle of all of this, there are these small, gorgeous little things happening, and we're not myopic, and that whole The Eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. We have two eyes, thank goodness, and two eyes to see it all, the good and the bad, and all of that jazz. So, yeah, I have to take my own advice today. What did they say? Hoisted by my own petard. And when I was thinking about the Titchnahan thing, the slower I go, the faster I go, it just it changes the frequency ever so slightly. There was the rain, and didn't bring an umbrella, and yeah, I'm not sure if all this rain is going to be a good idea on the phone. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Now, so beautiful. Look, they were all that beautiful off-white, not quite cream. And there they are now, bowing down in their autumnal splendour. Right. Maybe that'll pass. Made me think about other pantheons. So apparently in the Nordic pantheon or whatever, I'm not an expert, Odin hung on the world tree, Yggdrasil, to gain knowledge for 9 days or 7 days or whatever it is. And when or the one eye took out an eye. Look, I don't claim to be an expert on these things, but afterwards could have taken that knowledge and gone off to do laws and treaties and the world, but used it to gain more knowledge. Then you think of the early Christian pantheon, the Essenes and the desert dwelling, very highly spiritual Christian teachings. There you would have, as I say, I'm not an expert on this, so if somebody, wants to take offence, on you go. I will have to finish up soon now with the rain, or I could just stick you in a bush here till the rain passes. Oh yeah, gorse. There. So the Christian pantheon, so Christ or whatever, 40 days, 40 nights, going through all these initiations, could then have become, I would imagine, with such enlightenment and capability, accrued power in the world and all that, instead of the path that was there. So now I'm just trying to think. For the Gnostics and all that, Sophia, the wisdom, such huge wisdom, and then was dispersed with, etc. I'm really kind of wondering what point I'm making here. In other pantheons, so the Jungian, the hero's journey, achieving that, or Perseus or Jason and the Argonauts, off he goes and gets the golden fleece, and then possibly could have used that hero's journey, that archetypal quest journey, the questing stuff, and become then a self-indulgent despot or whatever, So a lot of them didn't. It's very interesting, isn't it? And Thich Nhat Hanh, obviously a lifetime training in meditation and all that, teaches us how to ride a bicycle mindfully. So there we are. And there are other, I'm not leaving out, intentionally leaving out other pantheons and all that kind of thing. I may even chat about them again, in my humble opinion. But it is the big push and the big grab, and the big worldly realm. I wonder if it's all what's I don't know, hyped up to be. Anyway, so that's it. But we do need to have, excuse me, feet in both realms, for sure. Even that kind of, the male and the female aspect, the Jungian animus anima, regardless of what sex you are, just that point between the two states that can kind of lean a bit left or right at times when needed, and the more feminine state used to be much higher regarded, the state of intelligence and intuition and all of that, rather than intellect and drive, the more masculine, used to be far more regarded, certainly in ancient days, and it seems to be a bit lacking at the moment. Not to be confused with modern constructs of what female is. It's actually not talking about that, it's talking about something else. So, these states and honouring the nature, the quiet, it may seem not important to some, and it's not really anything happening. Really, the wheel turns, and that we are in control. Nature has a fury to many different sides, like us all, and but I suppose it always comes back to balance, and balance, and not in Fion's case, but when we're whizzing through day to day, getting stuff done whilst noticing the small beauties, to remember, the slower I go, the faster I go. Ching ching, ring your little bicycle bell. That's it. Anyway, we're going to go down to cross the bridge now, and I shall be on my return journey blackberry picking, which is, I have to say, such a lovely thing to do. It's very peaceful, your mind, because you have to think quick, that one, no, that one, oh, that one, and a little bit of each, not too much of each bush, and it's a very kind of ancient, primal thing, I think, and the time just passes. It's very relaxing. I was in a supermarket, there were blackberries, perfect, big blackberries, flown in from God knows where. They've had more air travel time than I've had, I can tell you. Flying, more flying time. I've travelled more, certainly in the last few years, than I have intercontinental, those blackberries. And still perfect. And I can tell you, I can pick blackberries, and I can tell you they don't last very long. So how those blackberries are able to be picked, processed, packed, shipped to the airport, put on a plane or a ship, travel. Yeah, you see, you hit your head off my bag, Fionn. I was in the middle of my blackberry story, and taken to the depot, processed, taken to the distribution factory, processed, taken to the supermarket company, processed, taken to the driven to the specific branch, processed, put out in the shop. My, oh my, really? So the blackberries here, there's no passing traffic. They're growing amongst wild plants, next to beautiful nature, the air. They truly are organic, and they certainly don't cost $3.95 and last forever. Okay, just saying. So in order to preserve them, I don't have a big freezer. If I did, absolutely I'd be freezing them. But So I'm making just I have these little pots. There's an Irish company that makes natural yogurts. Little pot, tiny pot with a plastic lid. Gorgeous yogurt. I think they're based in Donegal, and they're perfect. Wash them, sterilise them. So today is potting up the wild bramble pots of wonderment. Busy as a bee. Then it'll be on to the hawthorn elixir in the middle of all the other stuff that has to be taken care of. And it's great. Really, yeah, it's just so wonderful. But I do have to remind myself of many of the things that I might prattle on about in these videos. They apply to the shapes there, myself as well. Moi aussi. Yo tambien. August Misha. Anyway, look at the beautiful willows there. Now, Fionn, we missed his fast, high-speed thing because I was chatting, but look, that's life. Look, look, the sun's out now. Wherever you are, I hope that things are going really, really well and full of beauty and bounty. And if things are not going so well, we are sending you our very, 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 very best, as ever. And may things shift to, a better version of what's happening. Thanks a mil for coming along with Fionn and I in our rambly time. It's a delight to have you with us. And we'll see you again soon. Okay. Take care. Slán.